Hello everyone, welcome to my another video. So today we are going to talk about two important concepts in React, which are the containers and the components. So we're going to understand what is meant by a container and what is meant by a component, and how this enables the reusable and the reuse of the code, or basically reusing the components. It's a very critical or important topic, so you should be understanding what actually is a component and container, so before you learn about actually React.js. Okay, so let's get started. So this is a basic template. Basically, I have from the index.js, I'm calling this app, and inside the app, I just have a label which says I'm from app.js. Okay, just one label. So I have this app up and running in my local. So basically, if you go ahead and run this application, you should see like just one label. Oh, what is there? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So if you run this, you will see I'm from app.js. Okay. So so what I'm going to do is, let's assume that we have something like this. So if you're going to design something like this, it's a simple page. Assume that this is your screen, and then you have like 4 different boxes here which shows the name and the age of each person. So so to understand the concept of the containers and the components, right? So basically the container is something like your web page, right, which has got all your UI components and or the UI elements, right? So everything together is called a component. So in this case, this bigger box or the UI, the screen, this is the container, and then you have like different boxes here, so we can call these individual boxes as each containers, right? And if you look at each boxes, just the formatting and the structure, everything looks the same. We have the name here, we have the age here, just the value is changing, right? So if you can create one such component here, and if you create in such a way that you just pass the name and the age, and if it can return us a box like this, a component like this with the value that we passed, right? So we should be able to reuse this across to create every single box here, correct? So here I'll just call this component with the name Mark and the Mark and 30, and it will render this component, and with John and 35, and it will render this component. So I just need to place in this container so that it will look neat, and then we just need to create one file for the complete container, and then one file for the component, and we just need to invoke the same component to populate, create this view, right? So let's go ahead and see how we can create it. So as I said, we have an app.js, so I am assuming that I'm taking as a container, okay? And inside this, I'm going to create a component, and then I'm going to like import those components like multiple times into here so that we can create this view, right? So let's go ahead and create this component next. So inside the source folder, I'm going to create a folder component, and then I'm going to create a component, user component.js. Okay, so I'm going to create this as a functional component. So if you don't know what is a functional component is, I have another video in my playlist, so you can take a look at it. So const user component equal to, and return this. Okay, so I'm just returning a div. Okay, so what I should do here is I should have a name label and an age label, and I should have a box with a border, right? So let's put some styles here. So I'm going to add some inline styles. Okay, so I'm going to give some border with like 1 pixel, then solid, and then black color. Okay, and then inside this, I'm going to like I'm receiving the props here with the data, basically with the name and the actual value for the name and the age. I'll receive this inside the props. So I'll take that values as props dot name. Let's assume that I'm passing that as a property name. Okay, props dot age. Okay, and this format, I'm putting this age, name and age. So this basically is the this part, the name label, and the age label is here, and the value is I am receiving it from props.name and props.age. Okay, so we have the component here. So let's import the component here. Import user component from component slash user component. Okay, so and what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this label. I'm calling this user component here with the, so if you look at it, I have to pass like two properties, name and the age, with the actual value. Okay, so I'm going to pass this mark and 30. Okay, name equal to mark, and then age is 30. Sorry. Okay, so now what should happen is my view should my actual container, which is app.js file, so this container should have this component, and then it should show mark and age. Okay, and let's add some more styling to this. So let's bring this to the center, right? So what I will do is I'll just display elements using flex, and so what I'm going to do is justify center. So we have like two properties for the flex, like justify content and align elements. So I'll create another video so explaining what is a flex. Basically we can adjust the elements using the flex, and justify content and the align elements. So it looks like so I'll create another video for that. So I want that to be exactly center aligned. So justify content and align items. Also I'm making it center. Okay, so it will appear like an exact center of my box, right? Name and the age. Okay, so let's go ahead and does not have a default export. Okay, so I don't have export. Export default user components. So I missed to export it. So it's exported it, and I should be seeing it here. Okay, so name and mark is coming at the center. So let's increase the size of this box. So let's put some width and height. I'm setting the width as like 300 and the height as again like 300, and I'm just doing some margin like 20 pixel. So okay, and then okay, so that's all I need, and then I'll just include a break statement here so it appears in two different lines. Okay, so let's go ahead and read render it again. So we have the box created, which is similar to this one, and we have name equal to mark, age equal to 30. So we have this box ready, right? So if I want like multiple boxes here like this, right? So before that, just add some border for the container, right? Okay, so we have something like this created. So next we want to add some border for the container. Okay, so I have wrote class name equal to app, so I'm removing it. I'm adding some inline styling here, equal to then border is like I'm saying 1 pixel, 1 pixel solid red. Then I'm adding some margin for it. Margin is like 20. Okay, so now if you look at it, I have the box here. So we have the bigger box, and then I have the mark inside. Then okay, so since I have this component already created, right, so I can call the same component several times with the data that I want. I can pass those as the properties. For example, I have John, Peter, and Thomas, right? So I can pass this John, here's Peter, and there's Thomas, and the ages. So this is 35, this is 40, and this is 45, right? So that's pretty much it. So I should be seeing this, yeah, so I can see it, but it's lined in a column wise. So let's add some CSS to show it in the row ways. Okay, so here also I'm adding some display flex and flex direction is row. Now if you look at it, I can see it loading, right? So this is what I wanted. I have this container created, and then I just created one single component, and I'm just passing different properties and then creating those components and populating, right? So this is the basic concept of the containers and the components. I'm not making it too complicated. So basically you have app.js defined as a container, and then you just created a simple component, and then you use the same component to populate, create those boxes like multiple times, right? So let's say if you have like another component here, and you can, and if that is being used multiple times in your screen, right? So you can use a similar way. You can create this component, and like if you have like similar kind of UI to be created, you can use the same component multiple times. That way you can reuse those components, right? So the so I'm that's all I planned for this video. So I hope you guys now understood how we can create what do you mean by a container, what do you mean by component, and how we can create the reusable component. So this is like, it's like a very basic, this will give you a very basic idea on how to create those components and what is it all about. Okay, so thanks for watching. I hope you learned something from this tutorial, and if you learn something, so please hit like, and then also leave me a comment. Also hit subscribe button and the bell icon, so that you will get the notifications of all my videos. All right, thanks for watching. See you in another video. Bye.